including electricity, water supply, waste collection, and road operations.
A partly cloudy Wednesday in store for Gauteng, with afternoons scattered and thundershowers expected. Joburg drops to an overnight low of 13 degrees, peaking at 24. Pretoria 15 and 27. Vereniging drops to 13, maxing out at 25. Monke Zikoko, Eyewitness News.
EWN. In tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
#MSW.
You may begin to feel anxious or excited.
Honest, deliberate, engaging, uncensored.
High-dosage administration can cause adverse reactions.
And most importantly, independent in mind and execution.
This is a normal response. Are you ready?
Marawa Sports Worldwide.
This game will always humble you.
The Room Dividers.
The Room Dividers.
A show that doesn't just divide rooms, we also break news.
The Room Dividers. Zato Mamanji.
Rob, I don't know whether you're a doctor now, you've become a specialist.
Hey, the Bokke. 11 and 11 and 11. All the date 11, man.
The Finance Squad, I truly believe all those players deserve to go to AFCON, Mr. Marawa. And what I like the most is that Coach Chico Bruce has given the young player a chance to, to integrate with the experienced players.
Okay, let's start. Goalkeepers, defenders, midfielders, strikers.
Could Rob Delport, he is the Itaski Times newspaper editor.
Taking two youngsters along, they are the future. Ideally, they're the next decade's future, and this is the integration period into the team culture. I think it's probably a good thing to know that Hugo is thinking about post-Hugo Bruce era.
Can you replace what an Ikram Reyners brings? And he's been left out, and he was the second top goal scorer last season to Ribeiro.
But he is a big surprise for me. But it also, I guess it also shows the faith that Hugo has in the other guys who've stepped up. I mean,
Chairman Farouk Kadodia.
Look, I think I will tell you one thing, that I haven't seen and read applications from the morning. Probably we had about 120 applications for this post.
They changed their brand name to be Durban City, but their impulsive behavior is still the same.
No, look, I think I'm not going to get into a debate, but
good luck in the hunt and the search. Excuse the pun for a new coach.
These are people's fathers.
But at the conclusion from the Principality Stadium in South Africa, who win 73 points to 0.
People's fathers, that was selection to come and represent their country. Blood of Jesus, they couldn't even get 1 point.
They divide the room every single time that they speak.
But hey, we love that. We were giving high fives. I've never heard you in any form.
Praising
you welcome a guest. No, you're not praising me. Welcoming your guest in the studio. Never.
Robert Marawa, live on 947. Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Sowetan Live. #MSW.
Well, I don't know if it's because I'm in Cape Town and they are down in Johannesburg. The fact that the Room Dividers, for the very, very first time since the very first installment of the show, they've been on time inside the studio. They might have been on time before walking around the building, but they are seated, they are ready. And it just does indicate, ladies and gentlemen, just how serious and important today's penultimate edition of the Room Dividers is, simply because of everything and anything that happened over the weekend. And we've been told that maybe, just maybe, while we are still on air, there could be that outcome that comes through from World Rugby regarding Eben Etzebeth. So we'll keep our ears firmly peeled for that. You'll be the very first ones to know, but we'll dissect. We will give you every single bit of information that we do know, but be part of it. We are interactive every single time. Live from Cape Town, this is Marawa Sports Worldwide, proudly brought to you by Hollywood Bets.
Let's go! The moments you remember. The games you can't forget. Marawa Sports Worldwide on 947, Vuma FM and Rise FM. Powered by Hollywood Bets.
All right, so officially the Room Dividers right here on #MSW Marawa Sports Worldwide, proudly brought to you by FNB. From grassroots to greatness, 947, Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Sowetan Live, all part and parcel of the family.
MP. Dividing public opinion.
Are they empowering?
and setting the rugby agenda.
Do not forget where your history South Africa is. The enemy's desire is to try and erase it.
Welcome. You're with the Room Dividers.
No, we're very proud of the way we played. We never underestimate Wales ever, no matter where they are in the rankings and what's going on in their team. We just know how the Welsh people are. But I think Asenati actually got that last turnover, if I'm correct, and we're so glad for guys like Asenati and Zach, and a few guys who haven't really played for us in a while. Grobby's getting proper start. So I think the hunger of guys who doesn't get always opportunity also showed today, and it was important for us to fight all day.
All right, so that's Springbok coach Rassie Erasmus hailing his side's clinical display in Cardiff as South Africa thrashed Wales 73-0 at the Principality Stadium. So the emphatic win, though, sealed a clean sweep on the Casalaga outgoing tour, though, for the second consecutive year, marked the Boxers' 13th victory in 15 matches this season, which is, guys, if you take your calculators out, it's an 86.7% win record. It's also the most points that South Africa have scored against Wales under Erasmus's guidance, and also just underlining the dominance of the world champions as they head into 2026 with momentum firmly placed on their side. So, what's in store tonight? Where do we even begin, guys? I mean, the Room Dividers rugby world is buzzing. Maybe we can say it's also split. That final minute of one of the Springboks' most successful years, Eben Etzebeth saw red. I mean, he is the enforcer, the centurion, the 141 test warrior. And for the very first time in his career, he was sent off. Has this moment stained the Springbok image of controlled brutality? That's the big question. Or is it simply the cost of playing on the edge? What edge, you might ask? I mean, it's that kind of edge that made the Boks double world champions, isn't it? But then you go back to what Nick Mallett said. I mean, he's dropped a bombshell. He says, dock the players' wages for reckless disciplinary bans. Is this accountability or kind of a dangerous precedent? In the meantime, though, tomorrow, the pools for the 2027 Rugby World Cup will be drawn. And with the new 24-team format, there's going to be an extra knockout round and more matches than ever. The big question is it going to help? Or could the Boks still land in what they call the pool of death, the group of death? So joining us, Thando Manana, the former junior Bok and Springbok flank. I mean, he knows discipline, heat of the moment kind of decisions, and the cost of losing your cool. I don't know if he got a red card himself. Mike Greenaway is there, veteran, rugby writer, author of The Fireside Springbok, and he kind of brings decades of a perspective on Bok behavior, World Cup cycles, and also the soul of this team. He is independent media rugby writer and author of many, many things. Gentlemen, what an honor, what a pleasure, what a privilege. Good evening and welcome to the Room Dividers.
Good evening. Let me start. Welcome. I'm not sure where you are, Rob, but welcome. And I never got a red card, so maybe that must be cleared so that you don't take it forward going forward. I've gotten lots of yellows, but never a red card.
You would attribute that to what? That you're a good boy or you just didn't play dirty?
No, I just attribute that I was never reckless or a dangerous player. I'm not like you, you're reckless. That I know. I don't know about dangerous. You don't look dangerous to me, but you don't possess both of those.
Good evening, guys. Mark here. Thando, congrats
I'm sorry, Mike.
Your esteemed career. I have to just say, Eben, wow, talk about timing. Okay, he's played 141 tests, not one red card for the Stormers, the Sharks, Toulouse, whoever he's played for. Last minute of the last game of 2025, okay, so they played 15 matches. It's the 79th minute, he gets his first red card, which takes away kind of the focus on an unbelievable year for the Springboks. But even 79 minutes, one minute, and then the season is over, and you get a red card. Wow, Thando, I'm wondering what happened there.
Yeah, look, I think sometimes, Rob, Mike, and I think people that are listening is we know that Eben hasn't had the best of seasons under his name. Mike has just mentioned 141, and he's always sort of looked at himself to be amongst the leader within the team, and that was just a moment of madness from him in those minutes. And Rob, if you look at regulation 17, that's 9.2. It states clearly that a player must not physically abuse anyone. Physical abuse includes, but not limited, in terms of all these different biting, etc. But if you look at the gouging, the eye gouge that he went for, minimum, that's the low range. If one is looking for what the JO will say, is that he could be out for 4 weeks. That's the minimum in terms of that. And it goes in from 4 to 8. But what people are calling for is they go for 12 plus, or he gets the maximum, which is 52 weeks. So that's where it is now, that the JO must look at all mitigation factors, which includes, has he had previous red cards? So they look at that. That is mitigation factor. And then they listen to him on what his defense is. They look at the referee's report. Remember, everything must go according to the sequence. The referee's report, compiled by also the TMO, that then he gets an opportunity, and then the defense sort of comes in and just talks about, how good Eben has been, and et cetera, and unfortunate reason, and blah, blah. They listen. But I'm of the view that they won't go for the low range. They will look at the minimum of 12 to whatever weeks, and then he can appeal. Obviously, he can still do a course, sort of a 1 week course that cuts off another week. So there's so many elements to cut off those, the amount of sanction they will give him. But definitely he won't get away with it. But I'm just saying it just depends on the type of lawyers that they get in Wales that will represent him at this stage. But it's a difficult situation. I mean, I think, as you mentioned, I give the Springbok an A+ for the tour. I give the Springbok...
Just a quick one, Manana,
yes.
Before you get into the actual match, let's maybe dissect a little bit, because you brought in important numbers regarding the sanctions. So maybe, Mike, do come in, because I know that when it comes to the actual charge itself, there's 2-tier steps. I mean, whether it was making contact with the eye area or contact with the eyes, and there's obviously different interpretations and meaning that different sanctions. So what I had was that the maximum sanction could be 156 weeks, which is a 3-year ban. Is that something that's viable here?
Okay. First of all, Eben's defence, and he's got the My Players Union, which is the South African players, like trade union, if you like. They are representing him, as are like the best lawyers from SA Rugby. So he's not being hung out to dry now by indifferent Welsh, Irish, or Scottish lawyers who we have sort of fallen foul with before. So he's got a very solid defence, and his defence is that he was provoked. And if you look at the game, what happens, and it's obviously right at the end, and Sasha van Mazulu takes the ball up, he gets tackled, Eben goes into a system, there's Welsh players coming in, there's all kinds of things going on, it all collapses to the floor. Then the ball gets cleared by the Springboks and it goes out, for further attack. And all of a sudden, then when there's a breakdown, it comes back. The referee has seen like this massive scuffle going on. Eben is pointing to his eyes, saying he's been gouged. The Welsh guy is saying, well, he's been gouged. And then, of course, the TMO showing shows that Eben definitely gets caught. But we haven't seen what happened before. And what is important here, guys, and we spoke about it on this show, when we spoke about Jan-Hendrik Wessels getting pinged for 8 weeks because he had apparently, and this was off screen, clutched the sort of nether regions of an Irish player, a Connacht player. He got 8 weeks for something that wasn't seen, and the guy that who punched him got given off. He was reprieved because he said that he had reacted. So if Eben is reacting to something that the Welsh guy did to him, and we have seen a precedent where the Connaught guy got off for punching Jan-Hendrik Wessels because he said something that hadn't been seen on the screen, resulted in him behaving the way he did. So, folks, the precedent is there. What is this hearing going to do with all of that kind of stuff swirling around?
Yeah, I don't know if you want to add on to that, though, because it brings a different spin all round here, Manana, with regards to Eben and what kind of sanction. So do SARU kind of sit back for now until that particular date, not wanting to implicate themselves or maybe say something that is wrong, because there are those mitigating factors that Mike spoke about, and just depending on the kind of angle that the cameras do afford us, that even before that Alex Mann incident, which obviously the referee, Luke Ramos, didn't see, that there was potentially an eye gouge on Eben himself. So it doesn't mean that whatever he did in retaliation is correct, but I'm just saying that there is that possibility.
Yeah, but Rob, also one thing that we know that there's a match commissioner. So the match commissioner looked again at the various videos, and that video showed of no wrongdoing from Alex Mann in terms of that. In terms also of him being cited, he was cleared of any wrongdoing to that. So we've got to also understand is that you have referees, you have TMO that are running the game. You have a match commissioner who then looks at all other issues that were not looked at during the game. And he can sort of bring sanction to a player based on whatever happened that was not seen or sort of identified by the match officials. So he was cleared post that. So I think, remember, there's an issue that says he also provoked and stepped on that. What we know is that his hand was on Eben's face, but what is not there is that he didn't put his finger into Eben's eyes, which would have provoked him to do that. Rightfully so, his arm is there. So we've got to understand the scenario is that SARU is not involved in this case. What my players will do, they will bring a lawyer, which SARU and my players will go 50-50 in terms of that, to look at the case of their player, and they will then present to World Rugby Independent Judiciary Committee. 3 of those people.
Rob,
so
sorry,
therefore, for me, Mike, I'm just trying to finish this. So I'm just saying, Rob, is the lawyers must present a very good case. The player, it's there to be seen that his finger is in the play Alex Mann. So they've got to come up with a good story, because the length of the ban, Rob, could be a year. And a year for him is big trouble. Not only for SARU, it's big trouble for his province and his international franchise, and could then mean that he will hang in the balance for also being part of the 2027 World Cup. So there's a lot at stake. He's a big part of the BOK team. So I think whatever will happen is they will look at whatever they come up with, the JO, and definitely there will be appeal. I think we're just going to be talking about permutation on how many weeks and so forth. But the World Rugby, or whoever is the prosecutor, will go for maximum against Eben, and it's up to the JO to decide what the penalty is. I'm happy to say that if he's found that he's got a good record, that will really talk on his side.
Okay, Mike, maybe just to wrap that on before we go on a break and we come back and we look at just the overall performance.
Yeah, Rob, look, I just want to add to that, because the match commissioner has cleared Alex Mann based on what he could see. But that doesn't mean that something didn't happen with Eben. And I go back again to what happened with Jan-Hendrik Wessels, where he was sentenced to 8 weeks on something that wasn't seen. So what happened is the disciplinary committee took into cognizance what the Connaught players said. So why can't they take into context what Eben Etzebeth says about what happened to him at that ruck?
All right, we come back from the break. The Room Dividers does continue. We'll take some of your thoughts as well as see what some voice notes are popping through. So if you want to be part of the conversation, because everybody tracked it down, we were all just celebrating what a result, what a score. 060 708 0484, and then boom, We saw red.
Hashtag MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Soweto Live at the same time.
Hashtag MSW. Some moments only come around once, like the Audi year-end sale. Get the Audi Q2 from 9,899 per month. With no deposit, a 90-day payment break, so you only start paying next year. Plus, a guaranteed buyback. There's limited time to show up, but unlimited time to stand out in the Audi Q2. Visit audi.co.za or your nearest Audi dealer before the 24th of December. T's and C's apply.
Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip Africa está aquí on Showmax and Mzansi Magic. We've taken your favorite housewives from across the continent to the carnival. Expect drama, jokes, sass, and more glam in the heart of Copacabana.
Ria, are you ready?
Because wherever they go, the drama follows. Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip Africa. Streaming first on Showmax.com and Mzansi Magic DSTV every Saturday at 7 p.m.
Did you know that Lotto Star gives you real money back doing what you enjoy the most? You heard right. We're the only online betting company that rewards you with real ka-ching for simply placing bets on your favorite games. To date, we've paid out over 340 million rand in Star Rewards. Visit lottostar.co.za, your world of live games. Lotto Star is licensed by the Mpumalanga Economic Regulator. No under 18. NRGP 0800 006 008. T's and C's apply. All games are fixed odds betting events.
At Checkers, we do more so you get extra this Christmas with over 2 billion rand in festive savings. Like Lindt Lindor chocolate cornets 200 grams, any for 139.99 each. And Clover Butro full cream modified butter spread, 500 grams, 2 for 149 rand. Plus, stand a chance to win your share of 7 million rand in prizes. Simply buy any 3 qualifying products and swipe your extra savings card to enter. Valid until Sunday at Checkers. T&Cs apply.
Wait, BioPlus has energy drinks? And get this, they're giving you a chance to drive away in a brand new Suzuki Jimny. Plus, grab your share of 100,000 rand in instant prizes. Every can brings you closer to winning. Whether you're beach-bound or road tripping with your crew, BioPlus energy drinks give you the energy to own your plus. Sip, enter, win. Own your plus and make your summer epic with BioPlus energy drinks. T's and C's apply.
The new iPhone 17 is more delightful. With an 18-megapixel center-stage front camera, a brighter 6.3-inch ProMotion display, and Ceramic Shield 2, it's more durable than ever. So get yours now on SA's best network for just $879 per month on MTN Yellow Plans Prime. Visit an MTN store or mtn.co.za now and switch to Simple. T's and C's apply. Today we make moves. MTN.
Dividing public opinion. The room dividers.
They divide the room every single time that they speak. Talking about the one and only Tando Manana. Mike Greenaway is here in red, meaning danger.
There's one thing that we must never forget. The Springboks might be dominated by white players.
You mentioned that Rassie is aware that he's off as far as his transformation.
100%.
So him being off the transformation targets, why does that get allowed to happen? Is it because he's winning? And if he's winning, does it mean then that he has got the saving grace then to do as he wishes?
No, we can't use the word saving grace. We're not in church.
No, don't worry.
No, we are not in church.
You need the prayer.
We can't use that. We've got to talk. We've got to talk facts. He said himself what he's failed.
Hashtag MSW.
Hashtag MSW.
Good evening, Mr. Marawa. Good evening, MSW shareholders. Peter Harry Smith, Free State. Obviously, it's about the Bokke. Bokke! But you know what? This has all been, their win is overshadowed by this Eben story. You know, what a silly thing he did. You know, really, silly. I can't wait for the room dividers, for the Mike and Tando to see what they say. But even if he was provoked, it's not good. It's not good for him at all. Not setting a good example. Great show as always. Thanks, Robert.
Yeah, thank you so much, man. Thank you. We'll take more of your WhatsApp voice notes, take some of your insight regarding this incident. Feel more than free, though, to call us directly in studio 011-883-8947. What are you anticipating in terms of the charge? Because like we said, I mean, if you've played so many international rugby games, no red card. This is the first time in the last minute, and it has these repercussions and a lot at stake. Let's not take anything away from that. 0607080484. But guys, listen to this. Summer is here. The vibes, the braais, and the chies are all lit. So from stocking up for your pool party to road tripping with friends, every tap, scan, and swipe with FNB does count. You could score exclusive global travel discounts, e-bucks rewards, and amazing prizes like a braai with Usia Kolisi for you and 9 guests. Spend, save, and score and get in the game with FNB. FNB help changes everything. FNB, a division of First Rand Bank Limited, an authorized FSP and credit provider. NCRPC, that is 20. T's and C's and rules and limits do apply.
Not positive, Mike. Mike is not positive. It took 20 minutes. Get inside the action and huddle. Can't just attack and attack and attack. With Robert Marawa on Room Dividers.
The room dividers?
The Room Dividers. On Marawa Sports Worldwide.
I think the thing that we did really well, in those days we didn't have a hell of a game plan. And when I was playing that game, it was more individual guys that just maybe click on a day. But I felt we've been building up, and I thought really today was a controlled performance because the Welsh are not guys who just roll over and take the shots. They fight till the end. So for me personally, I'm probably going to look at the tape. But for me, it was probably one of the really clinical performances, and us putting our soul out on the game and not trying to stop our other team's soul, because I think the Welsh are in between what they really want to do. They've got a great coach and they will come right. But I think this was a really good controlled performance. And we know we can change in one game. So that 98 game, we beat them 4, and then we lost the 99 twice against them. So things keep. I thought it was a.
All right, so that's the coach. They're comparing this encounter against Wales to their performances in the past. So the Bok coach saying that they've been building pretty steadily. Now, a lot of people have been saying that they didn't hear him speak about the Eben incident, but he did admit, though, that the optics weren't great after he was sent off.
Yeah, well, I don't know what I can say now that won't be controversial. I mean, it didn't look good. I think justified the red card. I'm how it happened and why it happened, and if there was, that's the right word, provoked. I'm not sure, but that's definitely not the way we would have liked to end the game. I don't know, the optics was great.
All right, the Room Dividers, if you're joining us, it's Tando Manana, Mike Greenaway, live in studio in Johannesburg. We're coming through live from Cape Town. We'll tell you also about the Sevens. Hey, they're going to be taking over Cape Town. So an exciting weekend coming up. We'll give you a big breakdown if you want to be a part of it or if you're listening to the show from Cape Town itself. So 24 hours are left, guys, before the official draw of the 2027 Rugby World Cup in Australia. And us as defending champions, Mzansi, could find ourselves kind of locked, though, in a potential group of death. There are 6 groups, so if we had to break it down, make it all make sense, from Group A to F are determined. I mean, where the Boks could potentially also face the host nation, Australia. That would be something groundbreaking, alongside the likes of Georgia, Samoa in one of the groups. So whichever way it is, guys, I mean, does it really matter, or the Boks and the players saying, bring it on?
Look, it does matter. It does matter, Rob, because what it does mean is if we look at how the teams finished on the World Rugby rankings, you then know who the Springboks will not play. And this is quite important because it's the top 6 teams in the world, because they all get spread out across the 6 pools that we will have at Australia. So who will the Springboks not play? They will not play. So I'm just getting this up. They will not play New Zealand. I'm talking about in the pool games. They will not play New Zealand. They will not play England. They will not play Ireland. They will not play France. And they will not play Argentina, because the 6 top teams in the world rankings get spread across the 6 pools. And then what happens is you fill in, as the draw is made, countries get filled in behind those top 6 teams or below those top six teams. So we won't play the above. Who we might play, and this is quite interesting, is Australia, because Australia finished 7th in the world rankings. So they have to now get ranked in behind or below those top 6 teams that I've just mentioned. So potentially South Africa could, in fact, play Australia. And I just want to say, folks, Australia is like a little bit of a nemesis team for us. Yes, we beat them in our very first game of our, well, I wouldn't say return to World Cup, our debut in the World Cup in 1995. We beat them in Newlands. We've lost to them ever since. Australia are the only team that South Africa have a negative World Cup return against. I was at Twickenham when Australia beat South Africa in the 1999 semi-final with Stephen Larkham with his wobbly kick over. We lost in that quarterfinal in New Zealand with that freakish refereeing display. But yeah, in general, folks, Australia are not a team we are comfortable with in World Cups, but we could well find ourselves against them. But then there's like a 1 in 6 chance of us drawing Australia. I did a few stats. Here is our worst case scenario. According to the draw tomorrow, it will be our worst case scenario is we'll play the more top ranked teams that we could draw would be Australia, Georgia, and Samoa. That's our worst case scenario. And if Rassie Erasmus is holding his thumbs, our best case scenario would be the following: South Africa, Japan, Tonga, and Canada would be our best case scenario. So all in all, we're looking pretty good.
Looking good from your side, Manana, when you look at the balance of probabilities that Mike does lay out, and also the difficulty and the struggles as far as World Cup stage is concerned, playing against Australia, they're hosting this time around. Is that a worry?
Rob, just first and foremost, I think in the last 2 World Cups, we've never had an easy World Cup draw. 2019, we were pitted to open against an All Black team. 2023, we were pitted differently in terms of we had a very tough group. It was nearly called a group of death. We played Scotland. Maybe my Leonard colleague on my left forgets Fiji. He doesn't mention Fiji. My concern is if we were to have Fiji really is a team that's on the up. If people have been following what Fiji are quite capable of doing, I think we have to look at that, and I think the world would want to see Australia versus South Africa in the opening game in Australia, 2027. Or it could fall the other way. They could face the All Blacks. So there's quite a good permutation for all the top 6, and we're quite fortunate in that regard. But I think for us, it's just a matter of who falls in our plate, and I'm of the view Fiji, Scotland, Italy, for me, teams that we have to be wary of not being part of that group, because I think those are the teams. Remember, Scotland should have been in the top 6. Unfortunately, they were ousted by Argentina, so they will want to come back, Rob, and really want to progress in 2027. So I think we're sitting good in terms of on our form and where we are, and the teams that we might play. Australia at home will be a very difficult team. We've seen and heard Australians saying that, the current Smith, they don't want Joe Smith to go. They want him to stay and plan. He's a great planner. He's the one who's really been our nemesis throughout, from the island days up until he beat us at Ellis Park. It just showed the immense experience that he has as an international coach and what you've seen before. So for me, I'm also just rooting that we have a good luck draw tomorrow. We haven't had one since 2015. If you remember, in 2015, we had Japan, we had Scotland, we had Samoa. And guess what? We lost against that Japan side. That was the
Yeah.
greatest. That was the greatest draw for us in 2015. But it proved differently. But I think, like Rassi has said, systems in place. They're putting everything, planning and everything. They've got another full year to really make sure that they plan to the T. And I think they'll be watching the draw with big eyes to see who we're going to be in our group, so that planning can really start and see what the permutation looks like in the knockout stages.
Rob,
Yeah,
if I
and
can
I
just
think there's-
add, sorry.
Yeah,
man.
sure. Go
Sorry,
ahead,
if
Mike.
I
Go
can
ahead.
just add quickly here, Tando makes a very good point. Australia, like dream opening fixture 2027, world champions, South Africa. It's at the Perth Stadium, apparently. That's the only game, by the way, that we know exactly what's going to happen. That's the opening game of the World Cup will be at the Perth Stadium. Australia will be hosting. And dare we remember our very first World Cup game was against the world champions Australia at Newlands in 1995. And Australia were like ranked favourites. I mean, they were the defending world champions. And folks, just hear what I'm saying. We're defending world champions again, but Australia, out and out non-favourites, played South Africa at Newlands, and the Boks beat them and went on to win the World Cup. So it's the kind of game that Rassi would really not want, is to have the tournament hosts in the first game. They really don't want that. I think Rassi will not want to draw Australia in that pool game. But yeah, look, I mean, we have a record of losing games in our last two World Cups and still going on to win the championship. But we don't necessarily want to go down that difficult route.
Yeah, and when you look, guys, at the new format, the more teams, I'm talking about 24 teams, more games, they've got to play 52 games. You also got the extra knockout round. I mean, is this good for the game? I know that every sport, you look at the FIFA World Cup in football, it's expanded. It's the biggest it's ever going to be, played in the Americas, across Mexico, Canada, United States of America. And I suppose it's about the returns, guys. It's about television, the viewership. It's about the sponsorship. It's about the money. But is this good? Is this good for the game?
Well, Rob, what it really means, okay, so they've got an extra pool, but what they've got is so there's less teams in each pool, but an extra pool, if you know what I'm saying. And what that means is that instead of playing 5 games as we did in previous World Cups, we only play 4. However, they now have a thing called the last 16. And the last 16 is a prelude to the quarterfinals. So that is, in fact, an extra knockout game. So in the past, you played your pool games, you went into the quarters, into the semis, and you hopefully went into the final. Now you play your pool games, you play a last 16, then you play a quarter, and so on. So it's an extra knockout game.
Manana, just your take on the new format.
I think, Rob, it's taken from football. I can clearly say that it's taken from football. And anything can happen in that last 16, as you know. I think the World Cup is all about the surprise exit, early exit of the tournament, who goes first and who stays and so forth. How do you find yourself if you've won and worked yourself back to the penultimate final of the game? So I'm happy with the format. Remember, World Rugby wants to continuously grow the game, both from a commercial aspect, but also make sure that there's a lot of nations that get an opportunity to play in the final. And that we mustn't take away, Rob. I mean, they really look into, sort of accommodating each and every person. You know, you've got Hong Kong, China as a team that will be coming in and joining in, countries like Japan You've got Portugal again. Romania is back. And many people would have forgotten about Romania, but it's not their debut in terms of playing in a World Cup. They've played before, so it's good to see them back. It means a lot is happening back in the, international teams and countries that are playing the game. And I think for us to fast track the Tier 2 nation, and that's where our problem is from position 11 to 20, that's the problem in terms of the team. They would want to really have a competitive, at least top 12 in World Rugby. But, if you see the demise of the Welsh, really is not helping. Even in the URC, Rob, they always get the 8th spot for the quarterfinal. Whether you finish better than them, there is in writing that a Welsh team must play in the URC quarterfinal. So as much as there's help in terms of that, I think World Rugby wants to take it even more further in terms of those international teams participating in the World Cup. I think we might see the same going to the USA World Cup in 2033. It could stay maybe the same as they have the format now, because they can't really expand it any further in terms of the game. It's not football, but it's rugby.
Not football, it is rugby indeed. When we come back from the break, we continue our conversation. We'll also delve just on I've been tracking down here because the hearing is on at the same time as us, as the room dividers. But we'll tell you if indeed there is an outcome.
#MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Sowetan Live at the same time.
#MSW. Planning that dream trip? Bank on better travel with Capitec's debit and credit cards. Heading overseas? Pay 0 conversion or tap fees, so your rands go further. And if you haven't booked your flights yet, get up to 10% off on Qatar Airways with our Live Better rewards. Because better travel means no extra fees. Capitec is an authorized credit provider, FSP 46669 NCRCP13. Initiation, service fees and conditions apply.
Turning 18 means we've been a part of some big moments in Sauda. Like the time when Edzoti won an Oscar and Cobrizi's vocab had us crying a river. We were there for all the drama, driving Mzansi forward with more motivation, more innovation and value. Celebrate 18 years of more with the Haval H6 from only $6,599 per month. Visit gwm.co.za for T's and C's and book a test drive. GWM, go with more. Brought to you by GWM Finance, a division of Westbank, an authorized financial services and registered credit provider.
KFC and VW have given 31 Polo Vivos to one person this December. Yes, Romy Gold. Wait, what? Romy, how's it, my chummy? You're a legend. Everything you touch turns to my gold. Anyway... Buy a KFC bucket and stand to win one of 31 Polo Vivos this summer. T's and C's apply. Wait, do they apply to me? KFC, it's finger-licking good.
This season, celebrate the moments that truly matter. From family lunches to friendly catch-ups, gift the taste of something exceptional. Gift a handcrafted cake from Chateau Gâteau. Each slice is velvety, decadent, and made with the finest ingredients. A gesture of love beautifully shared. Chateau Gâteau, indulgent, timeless, and made for every celebration. Visit your nearest store and share the indulgence today. Chateau Gâteau. Make your moments exceptional.
This December, you don't need a lamp, just a trolley. Pick and Pay is bringing festive magic home and the chance to spend, wish, and win. Just spend 500 Rand to enter in-store or on the app. Stand to win 50,000 Rand daily in-store and 50,000 Rand daily on Pick and Pay ASAP. Plus, get your guaranteed share of 5 million Rand in instant prizes. Smart Shopper members only. Valid 1 to 24 December. T's and C's apply. It's the more the merrier this festive season with Pick and Pay. Hey.
There's always more on the calendar, always more on the go. We need a new kind of versatility to match. The all-new Bike B30. Experience unrivaled performance with up to 301 kilowatts that launches to 100 in just 6.9 seconds. Backed by over 4 million kilometers of testing. More tech, more utility, more value. Because there's always more than one road. Starting from just 519,900 for petrol. Also available in hybrid. Visit bike.coza or your nearest dealership. Bike, always be with you.
Previously 3 on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
Farouk Kadodia, he is the chairman of Durban City, just chatting about the now sacked coach of Durban City, Gavin Hunt. You come through with the coach that has won multiple league titles like Gavin Hunt has, and he hasn't quite cut it at Durban City. What coach? Give us an example. Who's your dream team?
Football has evolved quite a bit from the time that Gavin has won cups. It has changed a lot.
Would you say then that what Gavin's philosophies about football and the coaching seem a bit outdated?
Yeah, I think, look, today, football technology, video analysis, can't basically go and blame Gavin that we appointed him knowing very well that this was the issue. Again, the thing is that he was understand any human being. Once you get your success on how you achieve the success, you don't want to move from that.
I need to change my style. Been this way for a long, long while. #MSW. #MSW.
They have completely embarrassed the All Blacks.
From match analysis and injury updates,
sometimes you've got to take one step back to take two steps forward.
To bold predictions.
Why are you asking prediction? Why don't you start with predictions?
Nothing is offside.
You're like a sangoma to me, bro.
How? Tell me. Nothing is off the table. With Robert Marawa on Room Dividers on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
Oh, it's the energy, man. It's the energy of the Room Dividers right here on #MSW. Well, as I said, that being down in Cape Town, just noticing the kind of different energy from yesterday. You know, people excitedly talking about the Blitzbokke because they're going to be aiming to bounce back from their 5th place finish in Dubai. They're going to be taking on to the field. So come Cape Town Sevens this weekend, it's going to be jam-packed, as it usually is. A great, great vibe. South Africa facing a tough challenge, though, in Pool A, drawn against... they're drawn alongside Dubai champions New Zealand. There's also Fiji and Great Britain. So the hosts open against Fiji, though, at 12:44 p.m. So be there on time, guys. And that's going to just be before meeting New Zealand. That game scheduled for 4 p.m. And then closing the day with a clash against Great Britain at 7:41 p.m. I love sevens. You know, they don't say 1:45. It's 12:44. It's 7:41. Mike Greenaway, Tando Manana, any expectations, guys? Cape Town is a buzz here. It's always a vibe.
Rob, one thing about the sevens in Cape Town, it's not really our hunting ground. So we really need to claim the redemption at home. We've won it after several attempts to win the cup. We've won it in the past. So I think the Dubai, that's where we did well every time we start the season. Unfortunately, Philip Snyman and the boys couldn't pull it through, and they had to settle for 5th place. So they would know Cape Town would be a very good a place to really see if they can't win the silverware. So, but I think watching the final, Australia and New Zealand, what a great game of sevens rugby played by those two teams. So, and we get All Blacks in our group, so it just gets more interesting, I think, for us, and I think the traveling affects all teams. So I think personally, no one complains about traveling from Dubai to Cape Town because all the teams participating travel in one plane, and they come to Cape Town and they prepare for the HSB sevens. And I think for us, it's a do or die in terms of preparing for the next leg, which normally would be in Down Under. So I think, we've got to do well or get at least in the semi-finals, and then anything can happen from there. I mean, Rob, as you know, most teams, you look at the French, how well they did. I mean, the French played exceptionally well in Dubai. You look at Argentina, they've also had some very good run, but it's important to note that Australia are also up there. So it's difficult to really predict who will really play in the final, but I think everyone is sort of looking to make the semi-finals, and anything is possible with those 7 minutes aside.
Mike, just from your side, though, just the probabilities, as Manana says, that not the best stomping ground, though, for the Blitzbokke.
Yeah, look, I think I'd just like to maybe just give it a perspective generally on sevens rugby. Traditionally it was always Fiji and the All Blacks. They kind of dominated sevens rugby. Then we saw South Africa coming in the Blitzboks, really dominating under Neil Pell for a while, and then subsequently they've also had success. And lately it's been Argentina that has generally been coming through over the last few seasons. And I just, we've seen Argentina suddenly come through as a serious force in the 15s game. And it's because of what they've done in the sevens. They've generally been pretty much the team to beat. And if you look at how they attack in 15s rugby, it draws from what they are doing in the sevens. The Blitzboks, we tend to start slowly in our competitions. Not great in Cape Town, but what an opportunity for them now.
Well, great opportunity. Like I said, guys, don't miss that opportunity. Be a part of it. It's over the 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, and good luck indeed to the Blitzbokke. I mean, there are various things, guys, we could touch on and expand on in the last 9 minutes of the show. Maybe one thing I missed, though, was that proposal that Nick Mallett put on the table saying that the players should be docked their wages, given what we've spoken about for the bulk of the show here today. Is that something credible? Is that something viable? Is that something that will help in anything?
Yeah, Rick, if I can come in here, guys, really, wow. Okay, so let's talk about the Sharks. They have some of the biggest poster boys in world rugby. They've got Bongi Mbonambi, they've got Sia Khaleesi, they have Eben Etzebeth, I'm naming just a few. Now, those guys seldom play for the Sharks because they're always away on national commitments. And then when they are available, surely the Sharks want them to be available, if you know what I'm saying. So, yeah. Look, I had a brief conversation with Marco Mazzotti, who's the controlling owner of the Sharks, and his first reaction after Eben got red carded against Wales was, he sent me a WhatsApp saying, "Can you make this up?" And I don't think I'm selling him down the river here, because really, I mean, anyone can understand that if you're the owner of the Sharks and you are paying top dollar, and I'm talking about seriously top dollar, for a player to play for you, and he's already seldom not there because he's away with Springbok commitments, and then he gets himself red carded, and the Sharks, folks, and I'm preempting things a bit here, but let's just say it's 6 weeks, let's say it's 12 weeks, let's say it's 18 weeks. The Sharks are the team that are going to cop that whole ban, because the Springboks don't play until June next year. So if Eben is suspended for just say 12 weeks, that's 12 Sharks matches over the rest of the season. So they cop the ban. And that is where Nick Mallett came in, and he said in a podcast, well, if it is a reckless indiscretion by a player, then maybe the player should pay the consequence. Because if it is an injury to a player, no one ever raises any objection, because injuries happen in a game. But a eye gouge, a headbutt, something that is recklessly thuggage, that is on the player. Mallett said maybe they should pay the consequence. If they are docked their wages, maybe they'll think twice about doing that again. And I'm pretty sure that the owners at the Sharks will be thinking exactly the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, the docking, I don't know. Manana, please, you've played this game, so you're facing a situation where the Sharks, I mean, they've been very disappointing for a very long time. We've spoken about the decision that's been taken, in terms of Plumtree and his future. There was a heavy loss to Connacht at the weekend. Sia Khaleesi himself has come out and said that the performances are embarrassing, considering the quality of the Sharks squad as well, saying that he is the first to put up his hand and say that he needs to play better. But it doesn't help the morale of the Sharks squad, guys, when they're playing under a coach who's already been fired. So the consequences, the dynamics, everything that's happening every single week that turns their fortunes or misfortunes around does not add up or give them anything positive at the end, man. And I don't know what your take is.
I think for me, Rob, what we need to understand is the game has moved from the amateur state that it was back in the years. I think in terms of my players, they've changed the game for the betterment of the player. Whether you want to dock players' salary, etc., it looks like it will be something of a premeditation of some sort. I think that's not going to be allowed by my players. And the players, I think there is a leadership within my players themselves, because the players, that's their job, Rob. And secondly, rugby sometimes shows, everyone flames in terms of players being ill-disciplined, some, just being adjudged wrongly, like we had with Mostert, having been sort of acquitted from that red card, etc. So I think if that were to come, the players would actually sort of be against that. Remember, my players as well is the custodian of those guys that take onto the field, and they do know that without them, there's no rugby. If the players are said to say they don't agree, then there's no rugby, they won't play. So we're faced with those permutation. But also at the same vein, Rob, is that we see what the game and World Rugby is trying to do, keep the game played in good spirits, no foul play. We look at the head assessment. They've been very strict in terms when it comes to such. They've even brought in the bunker as well. So they have those mitigation circumstances. But to dock, a salary, sometimes, if he gets 52 weeks, do you dock someone 52 weeks worth of salary? Doesn't happen. Even in football, it doesn't happen. It's got to be an exceptional circumstance for you to dock someone the paycheck, and it's the rules and it's the mitigation. Sometimes it wasn't there. So I don't think it's fair currently for the current players, because the players hold the value of the game, whether we like it or not, Rob. The players have image rights, and based on those image rights, they share the image rights amongst themselves in the pot, and it gets spread across in terms of their images being on TV, being wherever, internet and what have you. So that's got to be another decision taken by the players in order for you to be able to dock. It can't just be from a one-man show to say that, yes, you dock people, it's salary. So that's a debate for another day. But I am of the view that my players won't go through that. And also there are systems that are in place in South African rugby. You have the mother body, you have my players, you have Sareo. So there's just so much that goes down for us to get to a point where you've got to dock a player a salary. Because then it means then you've also got to dock everyone who's involved in the international sphere of the game. So I think for us is, in the past, people have gotten 8 weeks. They don't get docked monies. The unions just move on and wait for that ban to go over, and then they play on. So I think that's what's going to happen with Eben, is they've got to pay the seller. Also remember, SARU also pays pony players monies. So also SARU is paying towards Eben's salary as well. So it's not only the Sharks. There is a top up that that's why we've allowed them to play outside of the window. So SARU also loses in that vein. Also as well, the player is already losing on the player imaging rights, because if he's away of the game for those 10 weeks, he can't be paid because he was not on TV, he was not used in any form, or was not seen in any form. So that is already a punishment on the player. So I think my players will see that as a double EM and a double punishment.
Can I have a last say, Rob?
Very quick one, Mike.
Yeah. Key performance indicators. Everyone has jobs. I'm thinking now, if I don't arrive for work, I'm in trouble. If I'm late, I'm this, I am that, I get into trouble. So as a rugby player, I know that I can't punch someone, I can't argue out someone. So why can't he get into trouble?
Sure. Okay.
Rob,
important questions, guys. I know it's burning always. Manana, are you coming alive again with a minute or 2 seconds to go?
No, I want you to say goodbye. It's 7 o'clock.
You sound like the Manhattan.
Rob, it's 7 o'clock. I want you to say goodbye.
Please say
I'm
it.
asking you to close the show. Time.
I think it's about time you close
Rob,
the show. It sounds much better when a former Bonk closes the show.
Close the show.
Please go ahead, Manana.
No, it's your show. I want you to close the show. You're not having the last say.
Do it like the Manhattans.
The Robert Marawa on 947 is officially closed. Thank you. Rob, it's 1 minute past 7. Stick to time.
Oh, that sounded like radio from the 1940s. Mr. Manana, thank you so much indeed. Mike Greenaway, always a pleasure, guys. You can tune in again next Tuesday for the Room Dividers on Marawa Sports Worldwide on 947, Vuma FM, Rise FM, Sowetan Live, powered by F&B. Spend, save, and score when you get in the game with F&B this summer. So lots to look forward to, guys. Coming through from our Cape Town studios, Marawa Sports Worldwide. Tune in again tomorrow for the show, brought to you by Hollywood Bets.
The thrill, the drama, the action. Play the game again. Marawa Sports Worldwide on 947, Vuma FM and Rise FM. Powered by